Hello everybody, Floppy Hat Photos back here again for their Idiot's Guide to Marathon Training. And today is Tuesday, April 1st. And today was a beautiful sunny day out, kind of overcast near the end, and we had quite a bit of wind off and on. But I headed up to Des Moines to go ahead and run my 4th marathon of my 12 marathons in 2014. And ended up getting a later start than what I really wanted. I ended up heading up, get my oil change. Took longer than I thought. Had a couple other little setbacks in time, but nothing real major. I took my dog with me. You can see him back there chowing down right now. I ended up leaving him for a part of the run. He didn't make the whole run with me. The last time I did the whole run thing, he really started bonking out hard about 24 miles into it. And I just didn't want to have to see him go through that again today. So I kind of forced him into staying behind. And he seems to stay behind a lot better in the van than he does in the car. It's one of the reasons why I brought the van today. Also that I needed the oil change. So went ahead, headed up and started out at Raccoon River Park. It's up in Des Moines there. Ended up, took off from there, took off running, and didn't really know where I'm going. I don't set out where I'm going to go run unless it's an actual sanctioned race. I just go run for fun and basically just see where the path ends up taking me. Ended up basically taking off, ended up running over through West Des Moines, over to Clive, ended up north of I-80. Ended up a lot of the trail I ended up running just, or not the trail, I guess, a lot of the run, I ended up running on sidewalks and stuff through town, had to stop at a few stoplights and that, driving me crazy. That part always ticks me off in the process, but it happens. Unfortunately, part of the trail is closed off. They're rebuilding the bridge, and they've got it closed off underneath, so you can't run underneath it. And the giant sign says detour to go around the trail. It's blocked off, but it doesn't ever tell you how to get back to that trail. So I end up kind of like off in the middle of nowhere, just running around town. And at one point, I kind of felt like I wasn't really lost. I could have got my phone out, looked the map up, and went from there. But I ran out of water, and I don't know exactly how far I was in there. It's probably 17 miles or so into it, something like that, and really didn't know where the hell my van was. I had no clue where I was at. Kind of general idea off in that direction over that way, so I started heading that way. Finally stumbled across an actual trail, ran it for about another mile or so until I saw a sign that said Raccoon River Park is that way, which I think was like another 2 miles. So I ended up going about 3 miles without water. Wasn't a giant big deal because it being cold, I wasn't losing much fluid as I could have been. If it was crazy hot. I was sweating pretty heavy because I got multiple layers on. Started out, it was in the 30s. I think it warmed up to the 40 range, and then it started dropping back off, and it dropped fast as soon as the sun started going down. It got rather just straight up cold real fast. And the worst part was I was wet from that, so I just froze to death in the process. I got so cold it was just miserable. Saw a bunch of people coming out into the end, and you could tell just getting off work and that. They were wearing much less clothing than I was, and they look like they were nice and toasty warm. They were still dry, all that good thing, and they're running super fast. They're raking a lap around Grays Lake, which is 2.5, 3 miles, something like that. And I'm already 20-some miles into this run. And it's one of those things that I think everybody should have to have a big sign on their back with a digital light in their hats, and it says how far you've run, how much farther you have to go for the day. That way you don't get judged by people who think you're just, that out of shape and that beat up as an old man, that you can't even make this, run like they are when I'm already 20-some miles more than they are for the day. Or even if it's the first mile, I got 25 more to go, and they're going to quit it too. So that kind of stuff back and forth. I decided I was also going to go ahead and try, since I was on the roof a couple days ago, and Sunday I was on a roof all day removing tin from old barns. We had tore 2 barn roofs off, and my whole body's sore. I'm not used to those movements, not used to those conditions. It was crazy windy, getting blown around a lot and fighting just the wind, the core, the whole thing. I thought I was going to try a run walk and see how that went. So I ran 9 minutes, walked 1 minute, ran 9, walked 1. And that worked out pretty decent for me overall. I was running a little faster than I wanted to starting off, but then I just my fatigue really started setting in. I ended up walking a little more than a minute. A couple times, I think at one point I actually walked like 4 minutes while I ate my peanut M&Ms. That was my fuel of choice. I'd already eaten a couple goos and a banana. Hey, settle down. I'd already eaten a couple goos and bananas there, so I went ahead and thought I'd try the peanut M&Ms. So I ended up walking about 4 minutes while I ate the bag of those, and that seemed to help once that got in my system. Unfortunately, my stomach was kind of low on blood, so I was having a little trouble digesting it, and it kind of ended up upsetting by the time it was all over and done with. Took me just about 5 hours, but I ran 26.47 or 26.5 miles, so it made it the longest run of my life. Everyone on marathons will run just another a little bit farther each time, and that way I can keep running the longest run of my life for a dozen times this year. So that's my goal at that one, and basically other than that, not much going on. So ran over, grabbed myself some fuel I needed for the van, and I'm going to grab myself a giant Mountain Dew, grab myself some food, and I'm going to head on home, and I should get there, I don't know, I'm thinking like it should be about 10 o'clock, I think, or so when I get home. So definitely super tired. Wish I had somebody to drive me home. Asked a couple people if they want to come up, kind of support me on a bike and that kind of thing, and that didn't work out. Nobody wanted to come. Asked a couple if they want to come up and just drive me home kind of thing, hang out for the day. You can take the van, get the oil changed for me, all that kind of stuff. Save me a few hours that way too, and that didn't work out either. So definitely that part kind of sucked, but what can you do? You just have to suck it up and run it anyway. So got that all done. I'm glad it's over with. I'm going to take a week off. I'm just going to do my run streak. I'm going to try not to run any more than I have to for the next week, because last month I ran way too much and hurt myself way too much after that too. So anyway, that's it for now. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Have yourself a safe and wonderful day. Get out there, lace your shoes up, hit the door, and get your run on.